Ice cold Coke Zero.
Ooh, shameless plug at the top.
First thing in the morning.
Not as ice cold, but cold SodaStream energy drink. Hey, SodaStream people, let's do business.
How is the SodaStream energy drink?
I like it. It tastes like a Monster or a Red Bull. It tastes delicious, Blair. It gets me hyped. We already have a commenter in the chat. Joe Panther Variety Hour saying, loves this fire. And then our guest is already here. But Blair, why don't you do the introductions, man? I'm just stealing all the thunder today, being crazy.
Well, I'll wait for her to give us a thumbs up to make sure she is okay. Yep.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. Oh, geez.
Oh, it's going down.
And we even have a very special intro for her. I hyped it up when I was coordinating details. I said, hey, you're going to get a video, like opening video and everything. So why wouldn't you want to join me and you? Because besides that, I mean, so without further ado, joining us this morning on For Exposure, she is taking part of the Women's Wrestling Syndicate this Sunday in Montreal. Joining us today is Katrina Creed. Hey, Katrina, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad.
Let me fix that. Boom.
Oh, yeah. Like a brand ambassador already.
So, I mean,
Katrina Creed is here to talk about RK Athletics and RK Athletics only.
Just talking about
yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry in advance. My cat is doing some run-ins already. And just so that might happen periodically. I'll try to straighten her out. But yes, pretty much here to what's the name of that again? RK Athletics? Yes. That's what I'm primarily here for.
You know, it's professional wrestling, so I would expect a run-in nonetheless. So whether it's a cat or a human, we'll run with it. It's par for the course.
Sounds good.
So this Sunday is a massive deal for not just women's wrestling, but wrestling in general. I mean, Women's Wrestling Syndicate is a big deal. Lufisto is a big part of everything that's going on. I know she's not the only one, but what does having WWS around mean to yourself?
Honestly, it's a huge deal. Make it a huge deal, not just for myself, but for so many of the other women who are on the roster. I know a lot of them, it means a lot to a lot of them, primarily because it came in the context of, you know, there was like something going down with this indie fed in the States that was an all women's promotion, but it was ran by men. And I don't know the details of like what was going on there, but it kind of caused this discussion, you know, stating that there's not really any feds that are ran entirely by women for women, you know? So it came at a really good time in that sense. Also for it to be spearheaded by Lufisto, who's a legend, you know, around here and just in general on the independents, for it to be spearheaded by someone like her, who's such a strong woman, such an amazing wrestler to look up to as a woman on the independents, just makes it that much greater. And you know, she really has like the best intentions at heart, not just for us, but just for women wrestling in general. So it means like quite a bit, you know, and I know I don't just speak for myself when I say that. I've spoken to a lot of women who are on the roster who also feel the same way. So yeah.
How about like for you personally, getting that call? Like, is it Lufisto that picks you out of a hat? Do you hear about this promotion coming up down the pipeline, and you send something over saying I'd love to be a part of it? How did you get involved, and like what does that mean for you being a part of this? Like, this is a huge deal. It's getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah, it's honestly such a great honor. Like I really feel so honored to be a part of it. And pretty much how it came to be, it wasn't even like I didn't, you know, put in kind of like my resume like I do maybe with some other promotions. Lufisto and I actually had a match back in September. We were both really happy with it. She actually handpicked me for that match because her opponent had to cancel a few weeks before. He gave enough of a heads up, so she picked me to go up against her, and we were both really happy with the match. And I think I'd like to hope that I earned her respect during that match. She certainly earned mine. She already had it before, but after that, definitely. I think just through that, it came to be. I guess she liked, our match together, and then it was just kind of like, hey, I'm doing this. Like, are you interested? And I'm like, hell yeah, of course. And that was kind of it for me. I know for some of the other women that she's worked too, I feel like it was almost kind of the same process. Obviously, Christara, who's a great talent here on the independents. She had worked her before, so I haven't necessarily asked, but I feel like it was the same thing. Whereas maybe for others who are coming from further away, it was more that they had to give in their resume, and then she picked from there.
Now, with something like this, I mean, you mentioned that it is like the promotion down in the States that was run by dudes, and it was an all women's promotion, which just doesn't make sense when you actually think about things. But like, what I like about this is that it's starting off at the ground level. Like, it's not the big, hey, we're going to be streaming here, we're doing this, we're doing this. It's like, hey, we're putting on a women's wrestling show, and it's everyone involved is going to be a woman. It's going to be an incredible thing to be a part of. It's not like we've seen in the past where, hey, we're going guns blazing and we're going to take all the best from everywhere, and it just falls apart because there's so many moving parts with this. But what I like is starting from the ground. What can the fans, when they're showing up on Sunday, expect from everyone involved?
Like as you mentioned, it really is from the ground up. All women are involved, even from the refs, even from the timekeeper, like literally everyone. So I think in that sense, it's very unique, but I think we also have a chip on our shoulders, just as women being like women wrestlers, there's always kind of talk that we can't do it as good as the guys. And I think, we're definitely going to put our best foot forward. I think we do that for every match that we have, regardless of the card. But in this case in particular, at least for me, it's like I really want to show up and show that we can do it just as good as the guys, So I really feel like there might be a bit of a higher intensity level than people are initially anticipating, just for that reason.
Do you got one plug? I made a list.
Go ahead. No, I have a couple, but you're cruising. So if you got one, go for it. Okay. I think mine's a little bit more tailored towards like the card itself, but go ahead.
Okay, because that's what I'm going to transition to. As you can tell, Katrina, we are a very professional operation here. So, now
isn't everyone in professional wrestling now?
Yeah,
she's worked with both of us before. She knows that this was not going to go smoothly.
So on Sunday, you are facing off against the Lebanese luchador Maya Malik. Now, is this your first time facing off with Maya?
Yeah, it is. And I think also what's so interesting about this too that I forgot to mention is that Lufisto really made it a point to have matchups that were different that you wouldn't see all the time in Quebec wrestling, or just around that territory, right? Because there's such limited women. So instead of it being, the same matchups, she really is making it so that at this Fed in particular, you'll see matchups that you've never seen before, which in my case is against Mia Malik. So it's the first time I met her. She's actually out from Nova Scotia, and I'm pretty excited. Especially we have differing styles, so I'm really excited to see what's gonna come of that. I've been studying her tapes, so I've definitely been studying and keeping an eye on what she's been doing. So I'm really excited to see what we can cook up for there. And like I said, there's so many other matchups on there that you haven't seen before, maybe you won't see again. So it's very unique in that sense too.
Like, you are tailor-made for this, because that is a perfect segue, because we have the full matches here. So I'm going to throw them up on the screen. And I mean,
this was going to be my question is, okay, after when your match, then we're going to throw them up. Which one of these matches are you like popping your head out of the back going, I got to see what these two ladies pull off? Because this card, it looks awesome. So how do you manage that? You wrestle your match. Like I said, you got Christara here, like you just talked about earlier.
Yeah,
Ronnie Payne.
Ronnie Payne, I know personally, someone I'm not too familiar with. I'm not sure if you have wrestled her before or if you're, of her. So this is new for some of us.
Yeah. So she's actually relatively new. She started off not super long ago, but again from Nova Scotia. So it is pretty interesting to have her come out and to have her be a new talent entirely. Her style as well is very much, she's more of a powerhouse, so which is really contrary to Cristera's style, which is more high speed. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. And of course, Cristera, I can't sing enough praises about her as a person and as a wrestler. She's one of my favorite people on the scene for so many reasons. So I know she's gonna pull out a great match out of that for sure.
And we also have Casey Diamond facing off against, oh, I'm going to say this wrong. I'll say Azael. Azael?
Yeah, no, there you go. You got it. I'm really excited for that matchup as well. Casey Diamond is actually, she's amazing. Honestly, she really surprised me and impressed me a lot. She actually used to be a worker about 8 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And honestly, she is so good. She's such a great heel. She's so charismatic, but she can go. Mm-hmm. I actually saw a match of hers with Cristera at Femme Fatale, and it was a banger. It was actually so good. So she's great. I'm really excited for that match. Azael as well. She's been a staple of the scene for a long time. Again, more of a strong woman style. And she's really, really great as well. She also, just a side note, there was a movie that was based on her, Lufisto and Lou O'Farrell. It's actually an independent Quebec documentary on women wrestlers of Quebec, but focusing on them specifically. So yeah, just a heads up, if people want to check that out, it's called Celle qui lutte. And yeah, she was actually a star of that too. So anyway, just those two the mixes of the styles as well will be super, super interesting. And I think that'll also be a really good match, honestly.
No, I know I am excited for this one with Lou O'Farrell versus Danny Leo, because I know Danny Leo has been crushing it in IWS, and this will be my first introduction to Lou O'Farrell. So this one is going to be a decent, this is going to be a little bit of a banger here.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the other.
Banger alert.
Oh, banger alert.
Blair, yeah, Blair's dropping the ball.
With the little light.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Blair.
Banger alert.
I honestly would have to say, oh, there you go, sound effects and everything. I'll pretend these are the actual lights. My fingernails are kind of red, so
now we have to start completely over. You'll have to go like this. All right, Blair, go.
Okay. Banger alert.
Woo, woo, woo. See, brand new one.
There you go. We made it work. Teamwork. Okay. But for real, like, honestly, I think it might be the match that I'm looking forward to the most. Mm-hmm. Danny's been great. She's been an opponent that I've had. I faced her I don't know how many times at this point, so I know her super well. And she's a really hard worker. She actually has really good ideas when it comes to structuring matches and stuff like that too, when it comes to psychology and stuff. And Lou O'Farrell, I love her. I had a match with her a couple months ago, and it might have been, it's definitely one of my favorite matches that I've had, maybe my favorite so far. Our chemistry was really great, and I had so much fun with her. Honestly, like, I know she's such a great worker. There's a reason why she's oftentimes in like the top when it comes to the awards within Quebec, but not only that, in PWI, not only in the women's, but in the men's too. She's been included, and she's been in the top 500 of the men's in the world. And there's a reason. She's fantastic. So that is going to be for sure a great match. I'm getting shivers thinking about it. It's going to be so great to watch.
I know we also have
Laurel
Cassidy, who is a mainstay with Crossbody Pro, if I'm not mistaken, taking on Chantel.
This looks like it's going to be a fun match. I'm so excited.
Yes. Opposing personalities for sure. Laurel is way more, as you can tell just by her promo pic. She's just super peppy, sweet. I think one of her moves is like literally eating Skittles as like a power up, just to give you an idea.
I can relate.
And Chantal. Chantal, I've heard of her a lot. I've actually never worked her. I'm not super familiar with her work as much, but I've heard good things. I know she was like out for a bit with an injury, and she recently started working again, and she's out from New Brunswick. But I've heard really good things. She was in the Youth Academy. I think she was one of the finalists, not of this year, but of the last year, which says a lot. So it should definitely be an interesting matchup of personalities for sure.
And then last but not least, we have Mary Lee Rose and Angie Skye taking on Leah Sparks and Sam Kelly. This is one where, I mean,
Yes.
I'm familiar with Sam Kelly because everyone has talked about just the incredible start she has had with wrestling. You know, I think she's a year and a bit into it and has just been crushing it. So
Yes.
this is a new one for me, but I'm very excited for this one.
Yeah, definitely. So this will be a super interesting matchup. It's interesting as well because Leah and Sam are both relatively new, especially Leah. She actually just started having matches not that long ago. So the fact that she's on this card already is a testament to how good she is and how fast she's progressing. And she is progressing really fast. So honestly, she's definitely someone you want to keep an eye on as well. She had a previous background in circus, which definitely plays into kind of her ring style and gear and her personality as well. But she is definitely really charismatic from the get-go, super impressive. So you definitely want to keep an eye on her as well. Sam Kelly, as you mentioned, she has a great start so far. It's been a year and a bit that she's been on the scene, but she's super charismatic, oftentimes a fan favorite for a reason. She has a great intensity and charisma when it comes to her in-ring work. So they're definitely two interesting people to keep an eye on. But opposed to them, I guess, if you want to say it that way, are Mary Lee Rose and Angie Skye, who have pretty much been on the Quebec scene for quite a while now, about 10 years or so, give or take. So definitely the best in the match. They are super hard hitting. They also often work as a tag team, so they'll have that synergy and that chemistry that might be lacking a bit more with Sam Kelly and Leah Sparks. And they're obviously super tough women because not only do they tag team against women, they oftentimes tag team against men. So they do a lot of intergender tag team, and they're able to hold their own and kick some ass. So as much as I love all four of them, all four women in the match, Leah and Sam Kelly definitely have their work cut out for them. But you know, you never know, man. Like I said, they're super charismatic. They progress super quickly, so they might be able to pull up a win just like that.
Now, you had mentioned, like we ran through the card, you have a mixture of veterans, you have a mixture of younger wrestlers. You know, you have from the far East Coast, you have Quebec, you have Ontario. There is such a mixture of incredibly talented wrestlers taking part on the show on Sunday. Now, you have mentioned, you know, Lufisto wanting to, you know, kind of reach out, bring in more wrestlers from outside of the area. With this being said, after this show is a raging success, because we know it's going to be, is there anyone from outside, you know, Western Canada that you would like to see possibly brought in to face off against? You know, just sort of like anyone you might like to see take part in the next Women's Wrestling Syndicate.
For sure. There's so many talented people from out west. Like Rose, for example, I'm sure you guys are familiar with her. She has been out east for a bit here and there, and I've actually worked a match with her. She's obviously very talented, a huge up and comer. I think she'd be a great addition to the roster for sure. I love Tara Zepp. She's someone that I actually met when I was out west really briefly. And she has such a unique style. Although she's more geared towards death matches, that's kind of the route she's going to. I still feel like she could kind of give this really visceral, vicious style to any sort of match. So it'd be really cool to see her out here as well. Nicole Matthews, I've only heard good things. She's obviously a stellar worker. So to see her in here would be excellent, of course. There's so many people from out west, you know. Liza Hall, Zoe Starks, my bad.
Yeah,
Zoe
why
Sager,
not?
who maybe she's from out west too. I don't know. But Zoe Sager as well. Obviously from Alberta. She's been doing incredible as well. She's a fantastic talent. I've been keeping an eye on her stuff as well. Online, she's fantastic. So to have her be brought in would be excellent. That's just off the top of my head. There's certainly so many other people for sure. Even when I think of it quickly, there's the matriarch as well. who was featured in the documentary with the Death Tours recently. And her and I have become acquainted online, and she seems very sweet. And I would love to have a matchup with her too, personally. So if Luffy can make that happen, that'd be great.
Heck yeah.
We'll help you out. We'll see what we can do.
Oh, the matriarch is great. She's an incredible person, and she's just really been like, she's someone who's really taken the ball and ran with it, with like, you know, just making the most of her opportunities. So very, very excited for her, and I'd love for her to get the opportunity.
That would be great, honestly.
That would be awesome. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm just.
No, go for it. Sorry.
I'm just cutting people off today. I don't know what's going on with me today. No, my question was, so there's a lot of obvious ties to the. There's a lot of obvious ties kind of to the IWS and then that kind of style with the branding and the names. And then like, obviously you and Lufisto and Danny Leo have been a part of that. How much for fans that might be like, oh, the IWS is doing an all women's thing. Is this this is like, what can they expect? Is there going to be a similar vibe, similar presentation? Or are they coming into a completely like all new, like this is so different. This is completely different than maybe what you're used to?
I think it would be very similar to the IWS in terms of how they used to do shows, which is when I would attend as a fan about 10 or so years ago. It was a bit more, it wasn't as big as it is now, obviously. And when I went, I remember there would be seats and stuff like that, but people at the very beginning of the show would go around the ring, and I remember doing it too. And at the beginning, we'd slam on the ring on the apron, you know, and we'd be chanting IWS, and it was a lot more like hardcore and gritty in that sense. And that's very much the feel that Lufisto is going for now. So kind of inspired by that for sure. Also inspired by this wrestling, well, the French documentary that I mentioned that's based on the Quebec women wrestlers from here, Celle qui lutte, they actually did after the premiere like a wrestling show, right? With the stars of the show. And I was one of the wrestlers that was like included. And so it was an all women show. Obviously we were super inspired by that. We all had such a great night. And we wanted to recreate that vibe. So it's very similar to how they did it in the sense that there's no seats. So there's not going to be any seats at WWS either. Mm-hmm. We want people to be really crammed in next to the like ring apron, really just like part of the action, you know? So it's a bit more gritty, in your face, in that sense. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe that Luffy's going for.
I like that. It's a nice intimate setting. Yeah. Very, very dope.
Exactly.
Okay, one more for you, then we'll let you go.
No, two more. I'm going to let you ask yours, then I do have one more. I do, but you go first. I'll end on a high note, I promise you.
Okay, and what's going to be really great is if this is the same thing, and then
it's not. I guarantee you, it's not.
I mean, you mentioned Lufisto, March 2nd at IWS, un-effing sanctioned. I had to practice saying that in my head before I logged on today. You're facing off against Lufisto. And I mean, I was watching the last IWS event, and I'm getting all hyped up. I'm like, yeah, you know, there's got to be a Katrina Creed defending her women's championship match. They just haven't announced it. There's nothing, but you get called out you come. There's a little bit of a brouhaha. I'm loving this because it's something different, but this is a massive matchup March 2nd against Lufisto. I mean, we've seen what she's been able to do in the past. We see what she's currently doing. Going into this match, how are you feeling?
Super nervous. I don't get crazy nervous all the time before matches. Like I always get nervous maybe a few hours before I'm about to go out, or within the last hour for sure. I don't know what it is about facing Lufisto, but I remember the first time I faced her in September, it was the first time in a long time I'd been nervous like the day before. I was really stressed out. And now I was literally like, I was driving in my car a couple days ago and my entrance music came on. It wasn't me who put it on. No, it definitely was. So I my entrance music and I was driving and I was just imagining myself at Olympia coming out and facing Lufisto. And dude, I honestly almost shat my pants. Not really, but like figuratively, it was pretty intense. Like to say that I'm nervous would be an understatement because it's Lufisto. You know, as I mentioned, a legend around here, someone I have so much respect for. and it's at Olympia, for uneffing sanctioned, which is pretty much like IWS's like WrestleMania, essentially. So it's the biggest show of the year for us, at Olympia against Lufisto. It's my biggest title defense, and it's just there's so much pressure too because there's so many people coming in from like GCW and stuff. Speedball is going to be there, who's my trainer, who's been keeping tabs on me and everyone else around here too. But it's going to be definitely a test for me. I really want to prove myself, and I don't want it to be any regular matchup that I've had. Of course, it wouldn't be with Lufisto, but I really not only want to bring my A game, but like my A+ S game. You know what I mean? Like as much as I can. So it's going to be intense. I think it's going to be a really good match. I think it's going to be super hard hitting. I think we're not going to be holding our punches, and we're going to get really into it. And it's going to be like a slogfest, but I really hope it's going to be awesome. I feel like it really will be. It's probably the match I'm most nervous for, and probably have been so far in my career. So yeah.
What's going to happen tomorrow when you two cross paths leading up to this big match? Nothing.
I don't know. I might have to injure her. I don't know. Go for the knee or something. Just in advance for our match, because I got to get all. I really got to try as best I can, man, to get a leg up on her because.
Kids, went right for it. Okay, and like I said, I have one more, and I'm going into business completely for myself here. So sorry, Blair. You're going to get in trouble by association, but you and I are former Quizplex contestants. Why has Zach got to make those questions so damn hard? What's his beef with us people? Us little people?
They're tough. Honestly, they're very tough, and I'm not even like huge on wrestling trivia. Like I know some stuff here and there for sure. I might know some like random trivia that maybe some other people won't, but it's not really my strong suit. But my God, those questions, what the hell? I felt a lot better though, I have to say, because there were people who were a bit more well versed and had definitely better wrestling knowledge than I did, who were also stumped by some of them. So I'm like, okay, it's not just me. But it was pretty rough. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, Zach, do better with those questions. But I scored -8 points on my appearance.
Ow.
Yeah.
Only me.
I had to go into business for myself with a former Quizplex contestant. And I had to ask the hard-hitting questions. You dominated with all the good wrestling questions, Blair. So I had to show out.
Well, tomorrow, February 4th, Women's Wrestling Syndicate putting on an incredible show. If you're in the Montreal area, please go down, check it out. Tickets are $20, I think. And from what I gather, talking with El Santo and Lufisto on the brunch, it's going to be recorded for future use, hopefully. So hopefully that we all get to see it. But for those that are not following you, where can they find you on social media or anything else you would like to plug? Here's an opportunity.
Yeah, so you could find me on Twitter at Katrina Creed, as it's spelled over there, as well on Instagram at cat.creed. So those are my socials right now. Honestly, for the next couple months, I'm busy. God, I take it week by week. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore until like the week of, or sometimes a couple days before. But for the next few weeks or couple months, I'm busy every weekend, pretty much a bunch of different feds all over Quebec and Ontario. Today, I'm actually going to Remix Wrestling in Ontario. Of course, tomorrow, Women's Wrestling Syndicate, of course. Next week, well, I can't really tell you. It hasn't been announced yet. But, just different feds all over Quebec and Ontario. And, of course, an effing sanctioned for IWS March 2nd at Olympia, which you can also check out on Fight TV Plus, also known as Triller now.
You can tell us. You can tell us. Go ahead. We won't tell anybody.
I'm sure I could. I feel like it'll be announced in the next couple of days. It's not a big secret. Literally, it's next week. I'm going to be working Acclaim in Ottawa, Ontario, which is like one of the bigger feds around here, and Osamed La Lutte, which, well, kind of like on the border of Quebec and Ontario. So that's where I'll be next weekend.
Scoops dropped here.
Katrina, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you and everyone involved all the success on Sunday.
Thank you.
You all are going to crush it. So great luck. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolute pleasure to get to work with you, Katrina, on screen. Super psyched for tomorrow. Good luck. Thank you so much.
For sure. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. It was great meeting you, Pluggo, and it was super awesome seeing you again, Blair.
Likewise.
Thanks again, eh? Take care.
And Lufisto, you better watch out. She's coming for you.
Thank you so much to Katrina Creed for joining us. That was an absolute pleasure. And if you are able to go and check out that show, it is going to be a great time. It is going to be a lot of fun.
I know Zach and Lawrence are going tomorrow from Love Wrestling, so we'll have some people in the building. They can hopefully relay how awesome it is to us that I'll get to see it live. But
because of that, you're going to have to join me on brunch just so I'm not alone.
Well, we'll have to ask Mrs. Pluggo, Mrs. P. Hi, Mrs. Pluggo. Hi, honey. Hi. I love my life. Blair's trying to get me to commit to streaming tomorrow.
Can Pluggo join me on brunch tomorrow?
It depends what she's got going on. She's a busy lady. She's got a hot date this weekend. She's going out with our son Oliver, taking her out on the ice cream date. So depends on what time they go.
We didn't have a show last week, so maybe we have
Double
to make up for it by doing brunch tomorrow, just so I'm not alone. So.
She said, "Take him."
Okay, Pluggo's doing brunch tomorrow.
All right. I guess I'm doing brunch tomorrow.
So I'm going to run through some tidbits. I'm going to throw the first one up. You can give your thoughts because I have to send Katrina a message thanking her for joining us.
Yes, from me as well, please.
Yes, so I'm going to throw this bad boy up, and you can give me your thoughts on it because this is the first. There's only a couple of tidbits, but this one is going to be fucking incredible. Look at this.
Dude. That is going to Joey Janela's Spring Break 8 at the Collective. I don't know what you do after that. That ring's going to be destroyed. Masasato Tanaka and Minoru Suzuki versus Rina Yamashita and Masha Slamovich. Sorry, I can't speak today. I'm having a day of not speaking. That's going to empty the clip, man. That poor ring, it's going to be a mess, but I'm here for it. I'm excited. What a matchup. I like when Rina and Masha team up, by the way. I think it's super fun when they do it through in GCW every so often. Of course, Murder Grandpa. He's coming out hot.
You got Murder Grandpa and Murder Uncle there.
Murder Uncle, is that what they call him? They should.
Well, we're going to start calling him.
Murder Uncle and Murder Grandpa.
Hit
the alert. Hit the alert, he says.
Banger alert.
Woo, woo, woo.
All right. So we got that. We have this bad boy right here. Boom. Coming up for GCW March 1st in Sauget, Illinois. That's pretty close to you, isn't it?
Yeah, Illinois is not too far away. I don't know where Sauget is. If it's outside of Chicago, it's not too bad. I should check into that because Billy Starks versus Killer Kelly would absolutely rule to see live.
I know, right?
And apparently Mrs. Pluggo is okay with people just taking me, so maybe she'd be like, just go. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Yeah, I'll have to check it at Pop's Nightclub.
So that's not too bad. That's going to be a fun little matchup. I don't know if they've.
I didn't know they were coming back to Chicago or the Illinois area this quick.
Hey, yeah, man. I mean, it's going to be a doozy. So we got that. That's it for tidbits. Not much because it's an action-packed show as it is. So I wasn't going to.
We're gonna do some Googling right now.
I wasn't going to do the deep dive into it because there's a lot to talk about, including the return of Alpha One, an incredible wrestling promotion. I'll throw up one of the match graphics just so I get all the information for you, because how else will we be able to relay it to you?
Ooh, that's a deep one.
So February 4th, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, A1wrestling.com. The Kings are back. Watch the Throne. It is going to be an incredible night of wrestling. They are streaming it online. You can go to the website, find out all the information of how to watch it. I don't think you need Fight. I don't think you need IWTV or anything like that, if I'm not mistaken. So go to the website. They will have all the information. But this match right here, Daniel Garcia versus Alec Price. This is going to be a hell of a matchup because you have Daniel Garcia, who is, pardon me, pound for pound, one of the best wrestlers out there today. Like, he is incredible. Taking off with Alec Price. You know how we feel about Alec. Excuse me.
Are you all right over there?
I am. I'm
because the graphics up.
Zero.
Oh,
on my Coke Zero. Alec Price is one of the top wrestlers out there right now. He's on the up and up. He's making waves, trying to make a big name for himself. And what better opponent than Daniel Garcia? This is going to be a doozy.
No, that's going to be just a good. Give him 15. Whoo, fast paced. Lots of technical wrestling. If you like it, boom. I love it. It's going to be a good one.
That's the kind of matchup that happens, and one GIF will blow up the internet just for how great it is. That's the type of vibe I'm getting from that. Like, they're going to go out there, put on this fucking clinic. There's going to be a clip, and it's just going to blow up the internet because of how great it is. Yeah. That's what you could get from these two.
Like, we had talked early on, like at the end of the year, like Alec Price was on, I think, on our list of like who to watch out for in 2024. He continues to rise up the rankings in GCW. He's doing things in MLW. So like, this is just another feather in his cap. So, and of course, Daniel Garcia is just absolute money. So no need to gush over that.
Coming hot off of her appearance at LPW 22, Jody Threat is there. She will be taking on Lainey Luck. I know Lainey has done some incredible things down in the Midwest. She's wrestled here in Winnipeg a few times. So this has a lot of potential to be just a sneaky good, really banger of a match.
Dude, this was a match that when you showed me the graphics, I was like, holy crap, they're putting this thing on. Yeah. Like, we love ourselves some Jody Threat up here in LPW. Lainey Luck, I've gotten to see live once upon a time, and she's fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to this match.
Also hot off of LPW 22, Vaughn Vertigo teaming with Gabriel Fuerza, taking on PME. I'm not too familiar match, but with Vaughn and Fuerza, I mean, you have two of Eastern Canada's best, making big names for themselves. This is going to be a doozy.
Yeah, talk about a match that I'm excited to get to know this PME, but you already know what you're getting in Vaughn and Gabriel Fuerza. I can't speak today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
That's okay.
I have been stumbling over words since this program began. We're 37 minutes in, and I haven't figured out how to talk, which isn't great for podcasting.
That happens.
But I'm excited to see that match. Vaughn Vertigo absolutely came up short, though. Came up short in LPW 22 against our boy MRB there, but the match ruled.
Pardon me.
I can't talk and you can't stop coughing. If you listen to this on the audio side of things, it would be just rough. You'd be like, who are these clowns?
And huge props to Ray Damascus in the chat. Hopefully I'll see you next month, Ray. I bought tickets for I should be going to Time Bomb. Bought tickets for First Wrestling the next night just in case I want to stick around.
Ooh. Why not? Where's that going to be?
That's in Minnesota.
Road trip.
And Time Bomb's going to be in Fargo. Beautiful Fargo, North Dakota.
I wonder how far that is. Road trip, drive out.
We have for the Alpha Male Championship, Shane Saber versus Space Monkey challenging Mark Wheeler, who is going to be with Jesse V. All things considered, Mark Wheeler is the one that I know the most about and just what he's been able to do in wrestling. But I'm very excited just to see what Shane and Space Monkey will bring to this match. I think it will be a lot of fun.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Mark Wheeler's fantastic. You said that this. Now I'm going to ask a dumb question, and maybe I didn't have. This is the new promotions coming back. It's coming back. How do we have champions already?
Because they took a hiatus, so I'm assuming that it's just the current champions.
I wasn't sure because I know that we had talked about this coming back, and I didn't know how long it's been since they've been gone. I know I'm excited for it, but I was just confused for a second. Sorry.
And last but surely not least, we have Ortiz versus Cody Lane.
Nice.
This is going to be a fun little match.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I'm loving this little like Ortiz Canadian indie run that he's been on. You know, he did some stuff with Crossbody. He's coming up here. I'm liking it because I'm a huge fan of I know that they've split Santana and Ortiz as a tag team, but I'm a fan of both of them individually, and they don't get used as much on the AEW side of things. So it's nice to get to see them wrestle throughout the indies.
So that is taking place February 4th tomorrow. So go to the website. All the information for streaming will be up there. But tonight there's a lot of wrestling going on. Like this weekend, there's a lot of wrestling going on. So
yep. This is a GCW double feature weekend.
Yeah. So before we kick into that, we've got some MLW to talk about.
But I'm mad. Well, I'm going to let you stew on it. I'm mad at you about this GCW stuff.
Why?
Oh, you'll find out.
Okay, because I've resent the graphics like 8 times.
Well, no, because you sent 2 specific graphics that I know when you send them, you giggle.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going to be there, and we'll have to talk about it. I know how excited you're going to get.
Okay, well, you know who
teaser for later, guys. Let's talk MLW.
You know who's going to be at MLW tonight? It's our boy Alex.
Yes,
taking
Boomaye.
Taking on former MLW champion Satoshi Kojima. This match is going to be incredible. I can't wait for this one. The amount of excitement I have for this is next level.
Yeah, when he announced when he'd won it last month, and then they were like, "Well, who's coming? Who's going to be next?" And Kojima came out. I was like, "Oh shit!" Alex Kane he'll fight anybody and everybody, but you have to he's probably just as giddy as we are to get the chance to go against Kojima here. So, but he always plays it calm, cool, and collective. You know how Alex does it. But yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be a good one.
And I mean, coming off the heels of his appearance on AEW Collision, where he faced off against Bryan Danielson, Yuji Nagata will be at MLW taking on Jacob Fatu. This is like a Joey Janela spring break matchup to me. That's like how random it is.
This is just like if you want to see 2 guys just absolutely beat the crap out of each other, this is your match for you. If that's what you're into, because this is gonna rule.
Mm-hmm.
I know people be sleeping on MLW. They're putting on these the last few shows, like the last 6 months or so, they've really hit this groove of these shows flow really nice. They've got something for everyone. The matches are solid. This is going to be a good time. And we're only 2 matches in.
Mm-hmm. This match, it's something special, or this card is something special because also on the card, we have Averno facing off against Mystico.
Yes. I saw that. They're like, Mystico is coming. And it's like, oh, dude, MLW's just got those deep pockets or something. They must have won that lawsuit against WWE.
When they say this event is called Super Fight. And when you look at the matches we've talked about so far, if you're talking dream matches, you're taking wrestler from, New Japan, wrestler from MLW, put them in a ring and let's see fireworks explode. This is that card because you got Mystico, you got Yuji Nagata, you got Satoshi Kojima, 3 legends in wrestling taking part in this event. It's going to be great.
Absolutely, dude. And Selena De La Renta is going to be involved. So that faction always has some stuff happening. So who knows what'll happen in this match? Because she's always plotting, she's always scheming. I wouldn't be shocked if she, some other people get involved. Maybe they try to get Mystico into the mix. I don't know. I'm intrigued.
Hey, and I got another name for you because we're grabbing names out of a hat here. We got Davey Boy Smith, the one called Manders. Davey Boy Smith Jr. taking on the one called Manders in a Haas fight.
Signed to WTF, the World Titan Federation, which you know how I feel about that.
Yeah, yours is more a WTF.
They never win.
I know.
And I can't imagine. Well, I guess if you were going to get a win, here's your win because it's not a tag team championship match. It's Manders on his own. Maybe there's some shenanigans where you get Davey Boy the win, but they don't ever win anything. Alex Kane shut him down last month.
Mm-hmm.
They got shut out in every title match they had. They presented the show. St. Laurent, you need to step your game up. Maybe this is where you finally get a good win. Sorry, we love Tom Lawler, but dude.
We have a little bit of something for everyone on this card.
Yep.
Also announced Akira versus Sami Callihan. Death Machine Rules.
What is a Death Machine Rules match? Is that just a clever name for a death match?
That's what I am assuming.
I'm not the biggest Sami Callihan guy, so like I always have to curb my like critiques of his matches. I'm really not. I don't know what it is. He's just not for me.
Solomon Crow doesn't do it for you?
No, I've never been a Sami Callihan guy. I'm sure he's a great guy, and I'm not talking about the person himself. I'm just talking about his in-ring style, and it's just not for me. So I'm gonna go with Akira, but I'm interested. Like I said, I've been watching a lot more death matches this year, so I'm gonna watch it, and I'm probably gonna be like, "Oh, that wasn't a bad match," because he's not a bad worker. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm just not a Callahan.
That's
guy.
fair. That's fair.
Subs down.
Now, not on the card for tonight, but being taped for future use with MLW because they do a monthly special now. They do the weekly TV tapings. We got my good friend Tom Lawler taking on Matthew Justice, so I'm excited for this one because it's awesome. Tom Lawler. So
Tom Lawler is one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Matthew Justice ain't no slouch. I think they're gonna have some really good fun there. TV taping, like you get that as a little, like as Boris said, that's the potato skins. That's the potato skins.
Matthew Justice is the potato skins.
The potato skins of the super fight, because you're getting that as an appetizer, and then you're going to get that main card, which looks absolutely dope. I am going to say this, unless you missed the graphic or I missed the graphic, I did not see a women's match promoted for this super fight.
Ooh. I may have missed the graphic
because I know Janai Kai's out there with her belt, and I'm hoping that we didn't miss it because
I'm going to do a quick little look here.
I just want to make sure we get the full card out there. And if Janai Kai's wrestling, that's awesome. She should be.
I don't think that I missed it, but some of the graphics look very similar for like the TV and the event. We did miss one, Rocky Romero versus Ichiban.
Okay, I missed one then.
Yeah. 2 out of 3 falls for the middleweight championship.
So. Full shoot. Pluggo after sometime today needs to go through his database of match graphics and delete because I still have stuff from like LPW 19.
Yeah, on my phone,
that I scroll through and I'm like, did I get this one? Did I catch this one? But no, I love MLW. These pay-per-views or PLEs or whatever they're calling it, they're on Thriller. They're great. They're usually like 2 to 2.5 hours tops. They fly by. There's not a ton of filler. So if it's something you're looking to get into, give it a shot. We love Alex Kane here. Like we've said, he's one of my absolute favorite people on the planet, let alone wrestler. So go support him. Check it out. Tell us what you think. That's what I would say.
So I was looking on the MLW Twitter page. There's no match graphic for a women's match.
That's rough.
I don't know if there is one or not. I was checking out Janai Kai's Twitter account too, just to see like maybe she had posted the graphic. I don't see anything on there. So hopefully it's something that just got missed and there is one. If not,
yeah, I would say that's my only disappointment with it if they don't have one, because they are starting to do really nice things in that women's division with Janai Kai, Selena De La Renta, Becca's there. You got options, and they're really trying to build that up. So I would hope that they get a match on this card.
I know there is a match on the TV taping part of it.
Okay.
But I don't know if they have anything announced for the pay-per-view part of it. So just fair warning.
Stay tuned. But all right, let's do it.
Okay, you want to talk some GC Dub?
GCW.
Okay.
Back tonight, tomorrow night.
We got 11 minutes to talk some.
Why don't you throw up the graphic that I know you want to throw up?
Yeah, you want me to throw it up?
It's going to be there both nights. Yeah.
Okay. We got Su Yung versus.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to do.
No, you didn't think I was going to do that?
Not first.
Okay.
But no, it's Su Yung, Santana Jackson. That's going to be awesome. And this is the show that is tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
this is tonight on Triller TV, coming from LA. 8 p.m. start. So that
means a contrast of styles we've got here.
8 p.m. start. I hate that.
Why?
Because that's 10 p.m. normal time.
Oh shoot! Yeah, they're in Los Angeles this weekend. That's an 11 o'clocker for old Pluggo. Dwight. And I was excited. Where they at tomorrow night?
We'll find out in a few short minutes.
Okay. I think it's Phoenix, which is also on the West Coast, and that's also going to be late tomorrow on a Sunday.
If I'm not mistaken, this is Su Young's GCW debut.
I believe so, because we had
Yeah.
talked about it as a tidbit a few
Yeah.
weeks back, and yeah, she's making her debut. Santana Jackson is just awesome.
Santana got announced for the upcoming Time Bomb Pro show, which I'm driving down to, facing off against frontman Jossie. I'm hyped up for that one. That's gonna be a good one.
Frontman Ja.
Yeah.
Rule.
So, a very much contrast in styles. We have Kerry Morton facing off against Mike Jackson.
I don't mean to laugh, but Mike Jackson just cracks me up there. He's talented. He's talented,
Yeah.
but he always makes me laugh when he wrestles in a ring. Like that match he had with Blake Christian, I couldn't stop laughing. He wrestled Santana Jackson.
It's the
awesome.
match graphic.
The fact that
that
he's still going, and that Kerry Morton, obviously his father is Ricky Morton,
yeah.
but it looks like it just looks like they used a young photo of Ricky.
I'm not laughing at Mike.
No,
I'm just laughing at the photo choice they use for it. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, we got to speed round this thing, so go ahead and throw up the next couple matches.
Hammerstone versus Charles Mason.
Gonna rule. Hammerstone in GCW is an interesting play.
It is. I mean, he did his little match in TNA at the last pay-per-view. He's been a mainstay with GCW. We have Chris Bay versus Man Like Doris. Talk about, like, this has banger alert
Woo
written all over this. Like, this one's going to be a great matchup.
Yes, I'm psyched for this one.
Deathmatch Royalty will be in LA, so hyped up for that.
Of course.
And we have Los Desperados taking on Starboy Charlie, Titus Alexander, and Bodie Young Prodigy. You've got I think three, because I think Bodie's wrestled in West Coast Pro. Three of West Coast Pro's best facing off against three. Excuse me.
That Coke Zero is really getting you
It's
today.
doing a number on me. Maybe I shouldn't have a Coke Zero and a Hershey's cookies and cream for breakfast.
Grow up, Blair. Grow up.
No
What is
kidding.
that?
So this is going to be just a lucha banger. I can't wait for this match. This is going to be a lot of fun. And last but certainly not least, or actually there's two more. So we got Violent J's returning to GCW. Hell yeah. Can I get a whoop whoop?
No, you cannot. Get
Come
a
on, give me one whoop whoop.
No, I refuse. Never. No.
If you give me one whoop whoop, I won't throw up the Violent J graphic later.
Yes, you will.
No, I won't. I promise.
Is he like? Is the music stopped? Are they done making music? Because he's wrestling
No, because
all the time now.
Shaggy Two Dope is touring as ICP. They're coming to Winnipeg April 10th.
Then you're going to be there, aren't you?
No, because that's the same night as Dynamite.
You don't go to shows on Dynamite night?
No, it's Dynamite's in Winnipeg that
Oh, is it? So we got ICP. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and I wouldn't, like, not for something like Shaggy Two Dope. It would have to be a great concert for me to go out on a weekday night.
Noted.
Okay, if you give me one whoop whoop,
No!
I won't throw up the graphic for tomorrow's.
No, we would need like 50 likes on the stream and like some super chats. Like I can't do it.
You give me one whoop whoop, and I will never send over another Violent J graphic on his own.
Because I know that you can't do that.
I want to bet.
No, I can't do it. I know you can't. You can't control yourself.
I can't control myself.
We have a card to talk about here. Let's not bog down the people with me saying things that I can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, and for the GCW championship, Blake Christian defending against Dark Sheik.
Heck yeah, that's gonna rule. I'm excited for that matchup.
You know how we feel about Blake Christian, and same with Dark Sheik. So I'm hyped up for that one.
What's Violent J doing?
You know what Violent J is doing?
Yeah, what's he doing? He's going to Phoenix too.
He's showing up in Phoenix the next night. That's what Violent J is doing. All you had to do was give me a whoop whoop, and we wouldn't be seeing this graphic right now. You couldn't even do that.
I couldn't do it. I can't do it. Feels no way. Sunday, February 4th at 8 p.m. Wow, a Sunday show at 8 p.m. over in the West Coast is going to come on at like 11 over here. They usually go earlier.
What are they doing? Like,
they usually go earlier on Sundays. So yeah, I'm interested. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you do what you got to do. The West Coast people, they don't care. It's 8 p.m. for them. It's 8 p.m. somewhere, but
I
I
guess
don't know if I'm going to make it that night. Well,
So-
it might be because NXT.
Yeah, I guess so. But
NXT has the show.
Rina Yamashita and Los Macisos facing off against Los Desperados. Hell yeah! Like, sign me up. I love this shit.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a fast-paced, all over the place type of match. A little contrasting in styles, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, like, I like it.
I like it a lot too.
That's one thing with GCW is like you will get these very off the wall matchups that you would not normally expect. So
And then they always work.
yeah, so I'm hyped up for it. Nick Gage is going to be in Phoenix for the first time. I'm very surprised at that.
Yeah, interesting. You would think at some point they've made their way out there, but
so Nick Gage is going to be there. Also going to be there. Brittany Brooks is making her GCW debut. Following that up with, hell yeah, Hammerstone versus Richard Holiday. This match has been percolating. I mean, coming straight from the MLW days, this match has had a lot of build up, and it's coming to a head here in GCW.
Which, if you're looking at this graphic and you're going, weren't they friends? They were friends, and I thought when Hammerstone was in GCW, they were just going to kind of do the dynasty thing again, minus MJF. Nope, they're going to beat the shit out of each other Sunday. It's going to be great.
Brett was like, "Hey, we don't do that shit here. Fight."
Boris must have heard his ears.
Boris did.
Boris must have heard us talking about the potato skins of the MLW card. What's up, Boris? What's up, Boris? You absolute stud.
Potato skins, the appetizer, setting you up for that full course meal.
That is super fight tonight.
That's super fight. The potato skins of wrestling.
We love Boris, the voice of LPW, our friend who comes and helps us do the previews of LPW shows. We'll have to get that one scheduled because LPW 23 looks awesome.
Hell yeah. Now, if Blake Christian can defeat Dark Sheik tonight, he will have his hands full with Jack Cartwheel the next night.
Isn't that kind of crazy that they didn't put Sheik on this graphic and say if, the winner of? They've already kind of made it Blake Christian. What if Blake Christian loses and it's just Jack Cartwheel versus Blake Christian, no title?
I think it's because it's under the assumption that if Dark Sheik wins, they get inserted into that match instead.
Possibly, but I don't know. Put it on the graphic. You're kind of spoiling it for us.
I hope that's not the case.
Boris, it's like ICP says, womp womp.
It's whoop whoop.
Nope. I could do it. I can't do it. I can't bring myself
now,
to it. Not this week.
So how we hype up every show now is going to be like 50 likes and pluggable whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Okay, we got two more matches, hard out, so we're going to motor through them. Masha Slamovich facing off against Starboy Charlie.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, Microman versus Mini Abismo Negro. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Microman. Oh, it was funny listening to Weekend at Effie's talk about Microman a couple weeks ago.
I bet.
I was in a car with Microman and I can't remember the other wrestlers. It was just a wild mix of people in a car. And I was like, yeah, I would imagine. But Microman, he puts in work, man. He gets himself some. So good on him.
Mm-hmm. Boris, they are recording the WWS show for future airing, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, we talked about a lot today. A lot of shows tonight. You will find something to watch. Like we said, if you're in Montreal, go check out the WWS show tomorrow night. Go say hello to Zach and Lawrence and give them a whoop whoop.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a magic trick, I'm going to get Blair to instantly stop mentioning Violent J. Yeah, Violent J is your Marco stunt.
So,
but I get in trouble for mentioning Marco's stunt on every show that we ever do. But on that note, like you said, we have the hard hour today. But we got to say thank you to Katrina Creed.
Yes, thank you.
Coming out, showing out, going through that awesome card with us, talking about some fun stuff. Go check her out. Thank you so much to her. I am Pluggo. You can find me at Pluggo_ on all of the social medias. You go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads. I'm right there. This face is Pluggo. You can find my show with JPJ Thursday night between two beards, 8 p.m. Go to at B2Beards for all those things on social media. You can catch my writing at lovewrestling.ca. You can catch my solo podcast on any podcasting application that you like. It's Unplugged with Pluggo. Every Monday night I do the damn thing there. So yep, that's what I got. Let's go, Blair, baby.
He's got another podcast coming out called Plugged In with Pluggo.
Yeah.
Do not forget that one, where he talks about like just plugging into
in stuff. What did you plug in today? I plugged in my air fryer this morning.
Oh, what'd you make?
I plugged in my phone. Nothing yet. I'm just saying that would be the show. I just do a half hour of me plugging stuff. Like, oh, I plugged in a laptop today. I plugged, I'm not going to go there.
Wow. Stay tuned for more of the topics on For Exposure After Dark. You can find me up Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast, all social media. Just shoot me a follow on there. Dropped a great podcast this past week with Chad Tatum, a veteran of the Winnipeg wrestling scene. Share some great stories, including some with Kenny Omega. So go check that out. So for my good friend Pluggo,
that's me,
and myself, huge thank you to Katrina Creed for coming out and crushing it this morning. We truly appreciate you joining us, and thank you for checking out For Exposure. I'm talking too much. I'm rambling. I got to queue up the video. It's right. Oh God.
You've been consensually exposed.
You have been. There we go.
I could have done it.
Peace in the streets.